Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another round of World of Tanks. Yeah, I'm just being a little silly right now. Welcome, guys, to another World of Tanks gameplay commentary. Spang here, and I believe this is going to be... hold on just one moment. I need to get settings just right. This is actually going to be the last 9.0 game version replay that I do. After that, there's about a dozen or so 9.1 to 9.2 replays before I get into the most recent patch, which is 9.3. So right now we got standard standard battle on Siegfried Line. Let's get that map up, and it is going to be a player known as Error with triple X's on either side. I actually believe now, if I'm recalling correctly, and you can correct me in the comments, buddy, but I believe this is Right Way under a new account. I don't know if he renamed his account or if he created a new one. I'm assuming he didn't, but I'm almost certain I got this from the same email that Right Way uses. So I'm almost, like I said, certain that it's him, but correct me in the comments below if I'm wrong, or let me know if I'm right. I would appreciate that as well. Getting spotted here by a T-32. It is a fairly even match, same number of tier 9s per team. Both teams have an RD. That British artillery does have a good arc, and the Bat Chat has a good rate of fire, so they both have their strengths. Now, both teams looking pretty even in tier 7s, tier 8s, except the enemy team does have one more tier 8, that ISU 152, which can be quite a large factor. WoT Tiger, again, coming up, trying to ruin this fun. Before, it was just the T-32. Error doing a good job of side scraping here, and that T-32 has no chance of getting through that E-75's armor unless he starts aiming for the hatch on the turret. The enemy team really not being spotted anywhere but the city, managing to take out the Elk. And some of you are like, it's called the ELC. Guess what? In the military, we actually pronounce acronyms as words. So, yeah, that's a thing, and I will continue to refer to it as the Elk. Yes, I know it is the ELC, but it's just simpler to do it that way. But anyway, enough of a rant here. T-32 managing to be a little bit annoying. It looks like there's some high explosive rounds coming his way based on the minimal damage he took. But what else can you do? That T-32, I don't necessarily blame him for switching to high explosive rounds. The enemy Elk getting taken out as well. Well, the scouts are getting eliminated rather quickly, but like I said, I don't blame him for switching to high explosive. If you can't do any damage, you're better off doing little bits of damage, because you never know when that enemy tank might only survive by just 50, 60, 100 hit points. That could have been done by high explosive by another ally earlier if they had just switched. Now, the enemy team, I did see that medium tank coming through the field. Error's team definitely seems to have a strong force of medium tanks there, although I'm not quite sure what those medium tanks are. Medium tank pushing up the 9 line, getting a little bit too aggressive in my opinion. That WoT Tiger getting lit on fire, and looks like he will burn alive, or rather burn to death. Let's see, wait for it. Oh, barely survives with 41 hit points. What was I talking about just a moment ago? There we go. WoT Tiger getting eliminated. I'm sure he wanted to die after all those modules burned up. The enemy team quickly losing this battle 3-1, and it is not small tanks. A WoT Tiger and a KV-4 getting taken out. Big, powerful movers for the enemy team. The enemy team also pushing up the 6-5 line and managing to start taking field. Error noticing that as well. Tier 9 medium tank trying to take that field. I'm going to just look over there. Against the Pershing in a T-54, which is badly damaged. So that object 432 might actually manage to take that field quite effectively. The IS, the only tank over there against the Tiger P and a T-29, in a lot of trouble. Error deciding that his efforts are best spent over here helping out his T-69 ally. And like I said earlier, if you notice, that medium tank that pushed up over there probably died. I don't believe it was the T-69. I believe it was indeed that, probably the T-54 or a Pershing, whichever was over there. But like I said, getting too aggressive, running into the middle of the enemy lines and just probably getting off a shot or two, but dying in the end and ultimately just feeding his tank to the enemy. Error's team actually losing their advantage pretty significantly, 4-7, about to take out this IS-6. This T-20 is really going to do nothing but die. There we go. IS-6 barely alive at this point. And the enemy team quickly losing their advantage. Oh, kill steal from, what was that? Come on, there we go, T-32. Well, you know what? Never complain about having a good teamwork. Even if it is a kill steal, it's always good to have backup. ISU 152, I'm not sure what gun he has, but if it's that BL-10, it is indeed the BL-10. That is something to not be taken lightly. Still, Error having a lot of health left. Tiger 1 about to get eliminated, especially if he keeps pushing forward like that. Looks like he has stopped. and recognizes his danger. There we go, T69 managing to take out that Tiger 1. Error's team still down by 2 tanks and still very much in this. 3 tanks, but still very much in this. His team still has 2 tier 9s and an artillery left. However, the enemy team still has those and 2 tier 7s and a tier 8. None of those to be taken lightly. Although I suppose Tiger P at his rank, at his level, and by that I mean the level of the E75, not too much to be concerned about. ISU taking a good chunk of his health off. He is one-shottable now, but he has to really high roll to take him out. Error can only hope that the enemy team is spread out enough to where he doesn't have to battle 2-on-1. Moving to intercept that ISU, which is trying to get a flank on him, and it looks like he probably will, more likely than not. Yep, there we go. Oh, barely missing the shot. The ISU running for the hills, quite literally at this point. Or it looks like maybe just downtown. I'm not quite sure what he's trying to do here. Looking to probably get another flank. He would have seen Error moving to counter him right here. And Error trying to get inside the head of his enemy for just a moment. The Og Tiger managing to take out that Tiger P. And apparently one of the other tier 9s having died. Probably was at 430. Honestly, this game has been very fast-paced, and it just seems like tanks on both teams dropping left and right. I mean, it's only been about 6 or so minutes, a little over 6 minutes, and you already have the match just down to a handful of tanks on both sides. So, World of Tanks can be this fast-paced, and other times you get draws and matches just go on forever. The Og Tiger managing to hold the line, however, protect the artillery. Enemy E75, this is almost perfect. Having a rear shot and a side shot on the turret, hitting him for a significant amount. The Og Tiger still holding strong and managing to eliminate, no, that was the artillery managing to eliminate the T29. So, again, Error's team still has a very strong position here. E75 pulling out, perfect position, lit on fire, and eliminated. That's what I call a lucky shot, and also good positioning. You know, the E75 just drove himself out into the open and wasn't planning on Error falling back and having a perfect firing position on his tank's rear end. Now all that remains is an ISU, a hurt ISU, mind you, and the enemy's artillery piece, which is more than capable of dealing massive damage to Error. The ISU just has to hit him hard, and then the artillery comes in for that 1-2 punch, and it still could be anyone's game. But at this point, the match is definitely in favor of Error, if that wasn't obvious enough. But pushing through the city, being a little cautious of where that ISU was last located. The ISU, I don't believe he has any sort of spotting information on Error, because I don't believe that enemy E75 saw Error. Right here, ISU moving in, trying to get a little bit back towards his base. His ass is pointed towards Error right now, and he's probably in the process of turning around. Friendly artillery probably in the process also of scoping in, waiting for Error to spot. And right here, this is that uncomfortable position where he's probably going to take a shot from the ISU. Oh, there it is, and it's also possible enemy artillery is about to come in and hit him as well. But it looks like he will get a ram and a kill shot. Enemy artillery not quite in position to land that 1-2 punch and take Error out. Shot fired, and a pretty solid miss there as well. Artillery not exactly known for their accuracy. They do get those lucky shots, and those are what people remember. But you have to also know, artillery does miss the vast majority of the time, and they're lucky to get even splashes. But a very solid game played by Error. 5 kills, 3 kills to the Og Tiger, doing a very good job of protecting their artillery, which got 2 kills. 10 between the 3 of them. That's a really significant impact. That's, if they were platooned up, that would be very impressive. No doubt that that platoon would have won, but even more impressive is the fact that they're all random. They don't know each other, they aren't communicating, they aren't having any sort of teamwork other than the innate teamwork that they have in the random battles with other players doing their best to work off other people's actions. But the enemy team definitely put up a good fight, 15-12. That is one of those rare, well-fought battles you get these days. It seems like a lot of the times it's just completely one-sided. But let's go to the post-game stats and see exactly how well Error did. Alright, clearly earning quite a bit of... there we go. I have to keep remembering that my middle mouse button is actually the button to start recording, so it does mess with the browser a bit. However, getting quite a significant amount of credits, a respectable amount of experience. I don't believe that was a ×2 even. I think that was just a solid default experience right there. It's managing to deal a lot of damage to a lot of tanks, but surprisingly only getting high caliber. I am somewhat shocked. Well, he did get 5 kills. I was going to say I was going to be shocked that he didn't get Confederate, but considering he killed 5 of the tanks he shot at, it's actually not that surprising at all. So Error, managing to dish out over 7,000 points of damage. The closest enemy vehicle to do that was that ISU, surprisingly being more effective than all the other tier 9s on his team. Over 3,000 points of damage dealt, and I know some of you are going to be, well, it's not all about the damage. Sometimes it is about the kills or other sorts of ways of helping your team. But even when you look at it any other way, that ISU, in terms of damage, in terms of kills, in terms of experience, was still the most valuable player on the enemy team. So good kudos to him. Unfortunately, he just got saddled with a bad team. Happens to all of us every now and again. The enemy Hog Tiger, definitely not doing all that well for himself. Unfortunately, just barely any damage dealt, no kills. The Elk, that's expected, but the Hog Tiger just absolutely not performing up to its tank. Anyway, 17 shots fired, 16 of those were penetrations, hence the 7,086 damage done. A little bit done from a distance, that was obviously against that E75. Only a few shots taken, 7 hits, only 3 of those being penetrations, which is why he suffered so little damage in the long run. 1,009 and only a total of 2,080 blocked by armor. But anyway, still earning over 100,000 credits. I'm not sure exactly how that happened. Okay, there was an action payout for, I don't know what action payout means, honestly. That must be a new factor in the game or something or other. Honestly, there's a lot I've missed with certain updates, although this is 9.0, so I'm not quite sure what action payout means. It must have been some sort of reward, but still very beneficial to him. And like I said, that wasn't a ×2 experience multiplier. Yes, it's with premium, but still over 2,000 experience earned even with premium is very respectable. But anyway, I appreciate you guys bearing with me as I get back into the groove here. And I know my commentaries aren't exactly as top-notch as they might have been in the past, and I don't know if I've ever been all too great at it, but I do appreciate you guys bearing with me as I get back into the flow of it, you know, kind of readjusting and getting used to it again. I'm definitely out of practice. But anyway, if you did like this video, click that like button. If you want to see more, subscribe. And if you got a replay, check the description on instructions on how to submit that. But until next time, this has been Spang, and I am signing off.